Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. We are going to get into another video. This should be a quick one. I should have, let me write it up here. So this is bunch defense, or you can put bunch defense toolbox, whatever you want to call it, right? You guys know 422031. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, but these are the different concepts that you could throw a bunch. Obviously, there's a lot more, right? So you guys know what box is. That's when you play cover 4 match in Madden. And what they will do is they will box the bunch. I'll do this really quickly. You know, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know this, right? So if you call cover 4 match and they're in bunch, not bunch strong, but just regular bunch, right? So you have the offensive line, the quarterback, and the back offset this way. You have weak side. All right, and let's say you call box. All right, you have outside corner, safety, nickel, and then you have your backer inside. Okay, they're going to box it, which means he's going to play the first outside underneath. He's going to take the first inside underneath from the bunch. First deep inside, first deep outside. It's pretty much how it is, right? So if you were to get a combination like, let's do something like this. Okay, the nickel would take this guy and the mic would squeeze on this guy. The corner would have outside leverage on that, and then this would be the free player with all this, and they could potentially double the quarter, right? So, you know, box, it has its strengths, but obviously it has its weaknesses. I could draw something up right now. I mean, we could just come up with something really quickly, right? So nickel, corner, if we know you're going to, this is why it's important to have a number of different things to play a particular concept or formation, Mike. Because if we come out in bunch and we know that whenever we play bunch, I always say this, you never want to have always and nevers in what you do. In other words, you shouldn't have it to where you always do something in a particular scenario, and you shouldn't have it where you never do something in a particular scenario. I know that's kind of like a Neanderthal way of putting it, but you should never be in a situation where, hey, when we come out in bunch, I notice that they always box it. Or, hey, I notice when we come out in bunch, they never blitz. Okay? It just makes it easier to play against you. Especially if you guys are in leagues and guys are able to like watch videos on you, right? I mean, they could really break you down if you are like that, right? Now, I don't know how serious you guys take stuff, but I would assume that there's guys out there that play in leagues. I'm pretty sure that would be pretty fun too, right? But anyways, if we know you're going to box this, I mean, we could do something. And I've seen plays in the game of Madden. You could look at a play and tell what it should be good against, right? I think I've seen one that goes something like this, where the one goes on the corner, he goes out, and then this guy like whips out, right? Well, what's going to happen here? The nickel is going to take this flat. Corner is going to be hinged on this guy. Well, then the mic, no one's coming inside, so he's going to have to squeeze on this route, and the number 2 is going to have leverage on that guy, right? Because I'm expecting someone to come inside. What we do is we just I mean, everything's about overloading, stretching, vertically, horizontally, etc. What we're doing is we know that you're boxing it, so we're just going to put 2 going out, right? They're just going out at different times because I'm coming inside and whipping back out, having leverage on the mic who has to squeeze on that, right? So enough about that. That's box. And, you know, you could have fun with that. You can design your own, get paper and pencil and, you know, put a box. You could design your own stuff and how to attack that. I mean, we can draw another one. Let's do corner, safety. And this is an offshoot too. It's not real technical, but just trying to get to the point here. Nickel, Mike. I mean, you could do something. Maybe runs a post. I would do something like that, right? Come in, right? So he would squeeze on that. The safety would have inside leverage on that, but then this guy would be in trouble here, right? And I think that's why the game has it to where the backside safety, when you call cover four, he's really poaching over for the number, like to kind of protect the post. Okay, but again, I mean, we're just going in theory here. This corner would be in trouble here, with having outside leverage there with this route stemming to the inside, because again, we are overloading pretty much this safety, right? We're pushing him inside. He has to take this route because it's the first post going inside, so we're clearing him out of there. And then now we know we have leverage on the corner with an inside breaking route like that, right? So enough about that. I didn't even know I was going to do that. I mean, I probably wasted some time there, but box bingo. I believe Deuce Close made a video on this in Madden 23, but ironically enough, I mean, it's Madden, guys. Bingo doesn't work this year, right? So shout out to Deuce Close. He makes a lot of good stuff. I think he took a break this year. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, that's how you know a guy is really good with content. You can watch some of his stuff from 2 years ago and, still kind of get some good information out of it, right? So he made a video on bingo, but I noticed when you try it in Madden this year, I don't think it works. So typical Madden fashion, we're trying to create coverages in Madden because they just don't have them. And we figure out ways to do it in some Maddens, and then next thing you know, it doesn't work in the Madden the following year, right? Which is kind of funny. Well, not funny. It's irritating. That's probably a better word, but that is what it is. Go watch it. But it's good to know this stuff, right? I remember a guy. I gave a video on cluster. I think a guy complained about not getting enough matching or whatever, and I could tell he was complaining as if, hey, this stuff doesn't work in Madden or whatever. Cluster's probably the hardest one to get to work on an efficient level in Madden. But again, the overall point of my videos, guys, is so we can learn about this stuff. And then no matter what, in any Madden from this point forward, if you want to simulate the coverage, you know what the coverage is, right? You may know what it's good against, what it's used for. And you can be like, hey, it's Madden 26, and I need to figure out a way to bring pressure against a bunch. I want to figure out how to bring it on the strong side. Hey, why don't I try to design something from that cluster package that I learned about, a couple of years ago, right? Now, you still can kind of get some matching principles with this, but it's really hard to simulate because the biggest problem in Madden, what I've noticed, is the vertical hook in the cluster package that you're trying to create. He does not match the final two on a lot of different route concepts, and it's really annoying, right? It's kind of funny that some of the simplest things that can be thrown in Madden to make the game so much better, they don't even do it. Right? It makes me want. I'm not going to even get into it. So, anyways, we went over sort against bunch, and that is different from Pentagon. So we're going to go over Pentagon in this video. Go check out my video on cluster. I didn't make a video on lock and level. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It actually belongs over here as well. Traffic, I went over. Check out my video on traffic. We got Zorro and Zebra. I didn't go over these. And then three-way, I didn't go over either. Three-way is just the traffic version, but you're playing cover 0 as opposed to the cover 1 family that I made a video on. Okay, so let's get into Pentagon really quickly. I don't remember how I put these videos together. Oh, okay, so I remember why I did this. Okay, so use the timestamps, guys, if you just want to get to the point. But, I like to kind of give concepts so it kind of resonates with you better than just me telling you stuff, right? So I want to go over something I read about from Cody Alexander. Definitely go check out matchquarters.com. I think he went over to Substack, okay? But do whatever you have to do to kind of learn from that guy. He's another guy that's just excellent in football stuff, okay? And it's good to know the history of stuff, right? So anyways, we can get into air raid. I believe air raid posed a problem for a particular coach. I don't remember who, right? Where, forgive me if I get this wrong. This guy's going on, I think he bends under and then over on like a crossing pattern. We'll just draw something up over here. Get something like this, something like this. I think this is a staple crossing deal of the air raid, okay? And one of the issues this would pose for a defense is a lot of times, this guy is really tied into this side over here, right? We get our 3-on-2. So when we get deep routes, it just kind of ties this guy up, and it's just really hard to defend this guy in space, right? And you would have multiple problems with this from a middle of the field open defense against the air raid type concepts, right? So here's is a couple of plays that are like air raid staples, I believe, Y cross, and you have Y corner as well, right? So we can go back where Y corner, so we have that, right? And then we also have Y corner, which is also very hard to defend. So if you can imagine, if we were playing, let's say, cover 2 style defense, vertical hook, I mean, this guy's getting high load here on the corner and the flat, okay? And you may say, well, the safety's over the top for the corner. Yeah, but he's going to have a really hard time really defending that, playing inside out over the top. And, the quarterback can really just kind of throw like a flat ball off of the corner, right? We're reading the corner. If he plays in the window, and we just have this easy flat throw here. And if he drives on the flat, well, now the window's wide open for that corner, right? So you can imagine playing against an offense that's kind of packaged to where it has this Y corner and then also the cross variation, right? So how can we defend this from a middle of the field open style defense? Okay. And this is where you get into steel coverage. I've loosely talked about steel coverage before, but I've never really made a video on it. I believe I made a video last year and I just never uploaded it for whatever reason. Okay, so in the world of like quarter style defenses, you guys have heard me say it over and over again. You want to think about the bubble, right? So you have the bubble here where we get a 3-on-2 deal. And over here, you really have a 4-on-3 deal. We get a +1 in the pass distribution, right? If he's reading 2-to-1, this guy's reading 1-to-2, and he's the quarter flat player. He's relating to the number 3, and then we get the same deal over here: 2-to-1, 1-to-2, quarter flat, right? So that's the idea, where we have a 4-on-3 on this side of the field, and we have a 3-on-2 on this side of the field in favor of the defense, and that's what we like as a defense, right? Well, one thing that we can do, and this is where steel coverage come from, is where, well, how about to help deal with this Y cross, how about we steal the backside safety, right? So this would be the strong side of the formation due to the 3-by-1. Ignore the tight end. I think Madden treats this as the weak side of the passing strength because of the tight end. Okay, but we'll just go on the basis of this so we can kind of get to where I'm going. How about we steal the backside safety from the weak side and we put him in the bubble on the right side, right? So, now we get a 5-on-3 deal on this side of the field, right? 5v3. So now we have a +2 in the pass distribution on defense. But obviously the weakness of this is now we're forced to play man-to-man on the backside. But the benefit of this is a heavily disguised coverage, right? Because, you would like to think the quarterback's not going to think that a backside safety is going to be coming from the backside to pin over on a crossing pattern. And the whole idea of this is, we give the illusion that the middle of the field is open, right? And that's what you get with cover 2, cover 4 quarter style defenses. Okay, but at the snap of the ball, this guy's really reading the strong side, looking to attack and take with superior leverage on something like Y cross, right? Okay, so you give the illusion that it's open. The quarterback snaps the ball. Okay, middle field's open. I know I'm going to have my guy here. Maybe he relates to the number 3. I don't know if we get a push call, whatever. But middle field's open. It's going to be hard for them to defend. I'm getting ready to throw it. And what do you know? We have a safety pinning over to attack this. And I believe what they do is they have this guy to make sure you force this guy to have to ride the hump and ride over the top of you, right? To give enough time for him to kind of pin over and make a play, right? But we're going to take it a little step further. So now I'll play it and get to where I'm trying to go here. You know what? I'll go back. So I like to do this, okay? So just use the timestamps, all right? But what do you think we can do to make this better? Okay, because think about it. We got Y cross, right? Okay, I'll just drop anything here. All right, and idea is we're going to steal him, and he's going to take the vertical of the strong side number 2. Okay? You're man to man. You're man to man with no help, right? Okay? And in the steal coverage, he plays like a soft squat. He'll match the number 1 if both of these guys go vertical. Okay? How can we make this coverage better, right? With knowing that they also run Y corner, right? They also run this too. Okay, so what's going to happen here? Well, he's looking to steal the, but he's not coming in, right? He's running a corner route, and now we have that same problem, right? So how can we make this defense better? It's the same defense. He's still looking to steal and come over, but against Y corner, he's not going to be able to do that, and then we're going to get the same problem over here. Okay, and that's where we get into something that I found very interesting from the steal coverage that Cody Alexander went over. Okay, so we have that defense here, and we're going to make one adjustment that I thought that was kind of brilliant right there, right? We didn't change anything. We didn't change the assignment of anybody. You may have missed it, but all we did was we took that deep half safety, who was originally, I believe, inside leverage here, and we just moved him outside leverage of the number 2. And it's kind of brilliant because now I'm kind of over-exaggerating the movement. He's probably not that far inside. Maybe he's inside eye, not that far inside, but I'm just exaggerating it so you can kind of get the point of what I'm trying to get at. Is not only do we make the coverage better against the concepts that the offense is running, okay, but, we make the defense even better against Y cross. It's more deceptive, okay? Because when the quarterback looks at this and he sees the safety this far outside of the number 2, well, what does this look like? Middle of the field, wide open, and I'm having my Y cross. This looks like just straight easy money for this quarterback here, right? Especially if he's assuming that we are locked on this side with the bubble, okay? Why are you aligned on the outside, okay? But it's a trap, right? We know that we are stealing this guy from the backside, and he's going to pin over to take and collect the vertical of the strong side too, right? So it's a very deceptive coverage. But at the same time, if they run Y corner, right? Well, now look at the safety. He's in better position to defend the corner, right? And he's able to do this because he's protected on the inside by the safety being stolen from the backside, right? So, I mean, football, it's so intricate, for lack of a better words. It's just the way you can blend defense to a point to where it's good against, not just, you don't want it to where it's just good against one play, right? I'll never forget, well, I won't go over that example, but some people will, how do you stop this one play? And they'll come up with a defense that's good against that one play. But it's like, bro, that defense is not really good, because if they run anything else, you're screwed, right? You want to design something to where it's functional. It can function against anything. It's not a defense that isn't structured in the wrong way, to where someone can go scot-free up to the end zone, no resistance, etc. I've seen people make defenses like that to stop one play, but if we run anything else, you're screwed, right? But you can take it a step further. You can design something to where, this play is good against multiple plays, right? Because we've made something that makes it more deceptive, but also it can play better against another play that they love to play, right? Another offensive play that they run in the air raid concept. All right, so I'm fumbling over my words here. Okay, so all we did was move a player, right? Just the alignment alone. You can change the alignment of a player and make the defense play totally different, right? Now in Madden, it's not as exaggerated as I would like, because a lot of times you move a player in a subtle way and he still kind of plays the same. So you almost have to over-exaggerate it to get it to what you want. But It's just another way. You can make a million variations of a defense just by moving players around. Okay. So, with that said, we're going to get into Pentagon. So, why did I go over all of that? Well, I went over sort, right? Okay. And sort is where, he plays cut on the outside, he's playing deep half. But we have our apex defender, he's going to cut the final number 2 from the bunch. And what you do in sort is how we simulate it. We have to take our middle backer, our money guy, okay? And we have to match the final number 3 from the bunch. That's how we play sort. And with us doing that, we call cover 9 to do this. But we take the backside safety and we make him do anything other than what he's doing, right? Because what he's doing when you call cover 9 is we're stealing him from the backside to take the final number 3 over the top, right? But we don't need him to do that when we play sort because we are taking the final number 3. So, playing a true sort is you call cover 9 and you just do whatever you want with the safety. You can bring him down and blitz him. You can have him play deep half to help out the corner. You can double the back. I do a number of different things when I notice that my opponent is doing a lot of different things on the backside, right? And I want to have help over the top or have a 3-on-2 deal on this side. This is where I play sort. I'll call cover 9. I'll do whatever I want with the backside safety, and then I'll just use it as player and match the final number 3. Okay? So that's what sort is. And it's a coverage that you can combine with how Madden has cover 9 coded, right? And cover 9 is where we get the Pentagon. Okay, so that's why I call it Pentagon, because when you call cover 9 in Madden, the backside safety is really poaching over to take the final number 3 deep from the bunch. And this guy plays a little bit underneath inside. And then these guys have pretty much the same rules on this side. So you're getting a 5-on-3 deal when you call cover 9 in Madden against bunch. And then you're locked man-to-man on the backside. Okay? So you can play around with cover 9 and play sort on one play, and then play Pentagon on another play, right? And you know how to play cover 9. You know how to play Pentagon. You just call cover 9. And who I like to user, I've been thinking about it lately. I've been using the backside safety while playing Pentagon, but I think he plays it rather well to the point to where you don't have to user him in cover 9, right? So, I'm thinking about it now. I might start using the Apex to cut the final number 2 because, I don't think the Apex plays it very well in the game of Madden, right? So we want to shore off the players that don't play well in certain defenses. It's kind of sad that we have to do that, but it is what it is. Okay, now why am I including this explanation with sort and Pentagon in the same video? I'll show you why. And that ties into my whole, rant, I guess you can say, on the steal coverage that I gave, right? So there's a method to my madness, I guess you can say. So what I've been doing is, well, you know what? If they call bunch on the short side, right? You see how we're on the hash? Okay. Well, then this will change whether or not I play sort or Pentagon. Okay. When we're on the hash here, well, why not play sort? So remember sort, we call cover 9, but then we just take this player and do whatever we want with him on this side of the field. And we're going to use it as player and take the final number 3 from the bunch. And the reason why I like to play sort when they have the bunch on the short side is because there's less room for them to attack on the bunch side. And it's going to be harder for them to kind of stress this safety. There's less room for him to defend, right? So I feel more comfortable keeping a 4-on-3 deal on this side of the field, right? So I can keep the safety on the backside where there's more space to help out on our 2 receiving threats on this side. So we keep a 3-on-2 deal on this side, right? So we'll go ahead and play it. So I didn't think I remember playing this game, and this is where the idea hit me. I'm like, wait a minute. I believe I originally was going to play Pentagon, right? So I would just call cover 9, and now I'm going to use it as player and take the final number 3 deep. But I'm like, you know what? Hey, he's on the hash. And thinking about that steal coverage illustration that I gave earlier, space is everything. There's less space for him to be stressed, so I really don't need you. So why not keep you on the backside to help out on these players? So I shouldn't play Pentagon here. When I'm on the hash and they have the bunch on the boundary side, well, why don't I could just play sort, right? So that was my plan. I thought about it like right here, I believe. I'm like, okay, it hit me right here. I'm like, okay, well, I got to hurry up and make this guy do anything else. I don't need you to play the final number 3 because I'm going to do it. So I didn't know what to play him because I was thinking on the fly, and I'm like, let me just put him on anything. I think I put him on a hook curl or something, which is stupid, right? But, I'm like, let me try this, right? So we run it. I'm looking for the final number 3, and, well, we got him, right? So now I know I need to, it would be criminal playing sort and you don't match the final number 3 as the middle backer, right? And you can see why. Can you imagine if I didn't overtake this guy coming inside and I was down here, right? He would be wide open. And why is that? That's because, again, the backside safety is tied in on the backside with the 3-on-2 deal when we're playing the sort, right? We don't need him for the front side. That's our job to take the final number 3, right? So we ended up getting a sack. I don't think he knew where to go on that play. So we run it again, and this is where now I'm quicker on the trigger because I'm like, hey, again, short side of the field, the bunch is on the short side. I don't need you for the front side, so we can play sort. Okay, so I can do whatever I want with them. I don't remember what I did. I blitzed them, right? So you can do a lot of different things with the backside safety and sort because, again, we got a 3-on-2 deal on this side, and we can be versatile with what we do, right? We can think about stuff right now. You can easily, I've done things where, I man him up on this guy, and now we're doubling this guy, and you're man-to-man. We can blitz the corner and man the safety in the back. You can do so many things with the sort check. And that's what I love about sort. The problem with traffic, the problem with locking levels, the problem with a lot of the coverages against bunch is you are one-on-one on the backside with your backside corner and your backside apex defender, right? The benefit of sort is we keep a 3-on-2 on this side of the field, and we can do a number of creative things on the backside. All right, so that's one of the things. Video is already too long, man. It was one of the things when you're playing against opponents. What I like to do is I keep like a mental note when I'm playing them, and just keep note. Are they always attacking the bunch side? Where they just never throw to this guy. They never attack with the back, right? If that's the case, then that's when it's good to get the 5-on-3 to play Pentagon, right? Why not steal the backside safety to help out to where we get a +2 over the 3, knowing that you're never really going to throw on the backside anyways, right? On the flip side of that, if you're playing against somebody who is on the rear side and love to attack the backside against your coverages when they are in bunch, well, then that's when you could play sort. Now we can keep the safety on the backside and get a 3-on-2 deal, right? Okay, so we'll just go ahead and run it. So again, what's my job here, right? Match the final number 3 from the bunch. Now, obviously, you can get into some mismatches because you're the linebacker and you may match up against a receiver, but again, a concept is a concept. Okay, we found our number 3, right? So look at how I'm a little bit early here, but I'm overtaking the number 3. I'm just not going to give the inside away. There's just nowhere for him to go on that, right? So I think he maybe panicked on that, and now he's looking this side, and look how our safety is not in a world of hurt because there's just less space for him to defend, which is good for us, right? The offense tries to create space. The defense tried to constrain space. And with them putting the bunch on the short side of the field, they're doing our job for us, really, right? So he throws an interception. Okay, so bunch wide flex. So I'm like, you know what? Let me call cover 9. And when I call cover 9, now I can play sort or I can play Pentagon based upon what I see and how I feel, right? Call it. Okay, now the bunch is on the wide side. Okay, and now we're going to get into what I showed in that video. Okay, yeah, we're going to play, obviously we're going to play Pentagon here, right? We're going to steal the backside safety because there's way more space on the bunch side, right? So now we're going to get a 5-on-3 deal. But how can we make the defense better, right? Remember what I showed in that clip earlier. How about we move the deep half safety a little bit further outside? Why is that? Because he's protected to the inside, right? Because this backside safety, we're stealing him from the backside. So you're a little bit more protected to the inside. So why not play a little bit further to the outside, right? To play better on routes, maybe like flood type concepts or outside breaking concepts that they want to draw up on this side of the field, right? So just a good thing to think. So that's when I started doing this, right? Because I'm going to play Pentagon and I know I'm going to take the inside from the bunch. So we see what happens here. Snap the ball. So right away, when I see this, I know that's my guy. And this window is a little tight here. This is, guys, it's just so annoying, guys. If they would just code this right, what theoretically is supposed to happen here? I like how he's really topping this. This is good, right? What's the problem here? Okay, you are supposed to match the final number 2, right? And this is, again, this is why I hate spot drop coverages. And this is why match to me is king in a lot of areas. Because if this guy played it right, there would just be nowhere to go, right? He would be forced to work backside here, right? But, all we can do in Madden is, try to make the window a little bit closed to where he's going to kind of have to throw it over the top and where he can drive on it, right? But I like to give the theory side of it so we know that theoretically if he played correctly, we would be able to defend bunch so much better. So we got the pressure there and we're good to go. So I'll show you another clip. I think this will be the last clip. And I'm like, man, I'm liking this. Okay, so you see what I did here? This is me in-game noticing that he did not match the final 2, and it's pissing me off, right? I remember in a previous Madden, it was weird to where when I pressed off on the second defender in, he would actually match certain routes, right? That was last year. I guess this year they probably don't do it, right? Who knows? Okay. But concept's still the same. Look how I move the safety further outside because we're playing Pentagon and there's more space to the side. And he's protected to the inside because I'm taking the final number 3 inside, over the top. And then we also have an underneath inside player as well, right? So I went over this. This is why earlier I said, thinking on it, I probably don't have to use it as player. We can probably use the apex defender because this guy does poach in Madden to the post. The problem I don't like about Madden and how he plays it is he plays the final number 3 horribly, right? So like he doesn't play it the way you would. So let's say we get this as the final number 3. He plays it like over the top. Oh, you beat me. Okay, let me run with you, right? It's just not good enough. As opposed to us really taking that route and out leveraging it to the inside to where you just cannot throw that, right? So it is what it is. You got to pick your poison. It's Madden. They're horrible. It is what it is. So I'm looking for the final number 3, and there it is, right? Now, again, look, he's matching it here, right? Oh, man, it's just so bad. It's just so bad, right? But you see how much better this is as opposed to him being here? So I think it has something to do with the route combination that he has. It's just what I don't like about Madden. It's just not consistent, right? So, in order for the only place he can really throw on this side here is really a deep inside ball to this player. You're going to have to put air on that, and this guy should be able to make a play on it. And if you are inaccurate in any way, shape, form, or fashion, we're looking at an incompletion or an interception, right? But we got a sack anyways. I almost want to go back and see. Okay, so I think the problem is, it's so annoying. Ironically enough, when they run 3 verts, that's when he doesn't match because number 3 goes to the flat. If anything goes to the flat from 3 or 2, I don't think he matches if they end up all going upfield, right? But because he ran a different route combination like this, then he actually does play it correctly and matches the final number 2. But you see how match plays so much better than drop zone. I don't see how guys play drop zone. I just, you guys are really good for to be able to do that. I just cannot stand drop zone. I cannot stand. I don't know. It has its place, but to me, I'd rather be matching. I'll play zone when it's good, but spot drop that is. But I'd rather be in match coverage. So I think that's it. Okay, so obviously, so look what I'm doing here, right? I bring the safety down, I man him up. I probably should have did something with him because he has a reduced split, right? But it is what it is. So obviously I'm playing the sort check over here. I'm going to match the final number 3. I should have moved him a little bit further outside maybe. But I don't think I do that when I'm playing on the hash here because, I'm going to match the final number 3 with a linebacker, right? So if we were to get maybe a corner and then this guy goes up, I'm a linebacker. Yeah, I would much rather him be a little bit more on the apex position to be able to help out on that, right? It is what it is. So look, I'm matching the final number 3. I think this is where I messed up. I think I leaked off of him, right? Yeah, I leaked off of him and look how he's open, but again. So, if I would have played it correctly, there's really just nowhere to go. I'm kind of wondering when this video ends, Okay, so now I'm on the wide side, right? So now I'm playing true Pentagon, I would assume. So I don't know what I'm doing with him here. I should user him and play for front side here. Okay, that's what I do. And that's what I'm doing, right? We just got good pressure there. Okay, when is this video gonna end? Hopefully soon. Wide side, I'm playing Pentagon. Match the final number 3, and look how we can trap that. You see how it looks open. So I remember this play. It's just a beautiful play. The whole point of that steel coverage that I showed earlier, that I read about from Cody Alexander. Look at the illusion just by moving the safety outside, right? The illusion that not only like with him here, it looks like the middle of the field is open, right? But with him out here, it looks like the middle of the field is wide ass open, right? Okay, it's an illusion. We're trapping them. We're actually stealing the backside safety to poach the post to collect the number 3, right? Now this may be a little bit too wide because they may be able to rip it in there. Okay, but we'll see what happens. We snap the ball, and now I see that this is the guy. And of course, in Madden, in real life, based on that coverage, I think we're supposed to have somebody here to kind of make him ride the hump, and now you see why. So they're not able to kind of rip a throw, and then we force them to have to cover more ground, giving us more time to poach over for that, right? So I poach over for it, and we get an interception. So I believe that was the last clip. If I recall, it was. So that's it, guys. That's Pentagon, but I chose to marry this video with a concept with sort and that steel coverage, so you kind of get a feel for why I may move the safety on the boundary side. Everything is kind of layered together, right? So I hope you got something from this video. I hope you can utilize that concept with a lot of different things in what you do. And I hope you keep coming back for more, man. Peace.